Hey Philip, yep, we're live. Hey Raul, Duke. Okay, looks like I'm chopping the top of my head off there. Oh well. Hey Lynn, we're not really doing anything interesting tonight, but I thought I'd live stream anyway, just in case someone out there was feeling bored on their Saturday morning or whatever. And all I'm trying to do here at the moment is I got a bunch of screens here that I need to test, see whether I can send them back for refurbishing or whether just to bin them. Okay. But then I realised I don't have a testing iPhone 6. Yeah, I don't have anything to test as an iPhone 6. So I'll have to disassemble one. And I did find a board that's working, that's in here, but unfortunately the whole chassis is completely and utterly mangled up, and the lock button doesn't work, so I can't fire it up properly. Okay, Greg. Maxing out at 720. Philip, yeah, no, that's deliberate tonight. After the other day where we had extensive issues trying to get the stream to run smoothly at 1080, I just decided, yeah, I'm going to run it at 720 for the foreseeable future until such time that I organise myself a more superior processor. So, yep, we were stuck at 720 until then. But yeah, after sending off those RMAs the other day, the earlier in the week, I thought I'd best keep going and try to clear out my workshop as much as I can of the junk. And I was quite surprised to see how many random screens I had lying around the place. So I thought I'd better sort them out. So yeah, nothing terribly interesting tonight, I'm afraid. And it is, geez, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm only just managing to sit down and do this. I think I'm going to have to take my jacket off. That's better. It's a little bit cool, but not considerably cold outside. Is there anyone else doing anything interesting for the weekend? I mean, it'd just be starting for a lot of you. Don't think I need to remove that one. Maybe this one. I'm a little ashamed to say that I don't very often disassemble the iPhone 6. So as such, I'm not really up to speed with all the ins and outs of it. Set a record high of 34 degrees. Hey Dravara, cleaning, eh? Yep, sounds almost as exciting as this. That 34 degrees, is that just for, how could you say, the season, or this particular day, or what? Hey Pianov, saw a liquid damage iPhone 6 this morning. There was no liquid inside, only a dead battery. Yeah. So Pianov, when you say liquid damage, do you mean the indicators are off, or it was just handed in as liquid damage? Oh, just hang on there a moment. Alright, sorry about that, just organising what we're going to eat at 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, my wife and I are quite bad for being responsible adults. We spend most of our nights staying up. Just fixed a 2014 air corrosion caused a break in the serial peripheral interface termination lines. Oh, okay, that was unfortunate. Glad you found that. That would have been weird. Was it obvious corrosion? Record for Winnipeg, July 2nd, also hot in Canada, so. Let's see. Pianov. The owner gave it to a friend, saying it would not turn on after having been dropped in water. Hey Rosin. Hey, I am Skill. I can never say your name quickly on demand. I always manage to mangle that up. Okay, I think my board's free here, but where am I missing something? We're free, I think. Yep, there we go. This one is a dead one. Let me have a look at this. It came in, tried to get data, check if working. It came in and it was a long time ago, so I don't know what is actually wrong with it. It's one of those phones that I've decided I'll wait until I get the microscope to have a look. Most likely I probably should have handed off it to someone like Jason or Chris. But that's the trouble with being over here in Australia, is that those sort of options to send off to another country, they're just not available really. I know there's Ben Duffy down in Geelong. I have him in to send him some stuff, but the poor chap's awfully busy himself. So I am hoping once this microscope turns up that I'll be able to, at the very least, handle things like TriStar replacements and whatnot, and work my way up from that. Okay, this shield is not going back on anyway. As far as I recall, none of the liquid markers, none of the liquid markers have gone off. It just won't boot. It'll sit there at about 27 milliamps, 30 milliamps, and just keep bouncing around at that. Nothing else. Nothing comes up on the screen. So it's not really a short, but yeah. I wonder if this is a refurb. You can see it's got writing. I'm not sure if this is going to show up. You can just see the bit of writing at the end here when it does come into focus, which would make me think perhaps it's a refurbished phone. The other thing that's interesting is there's actual see if I can rotate this in the. You can see how there's steps on that shield. Is that normal? I don't recall it being like that. Anyway, so I'll put this in a bag and tag it. Where are my bags? I have to bag and tag it now because I'm very much the sort of person that will put something down and forget what I've done. Philip, I can't order that microscope until the money turns up, which will be probably at least not until the end of the month at the very best. Yeah, I am 6 skills. I know it's how I'm supposed to be saying that, but for some reason my brain refuses to let me do that in a hurry. Mm-hmm. Greg M says, I've seen STS. You got an iPhone fix the other day that took a lot of trips. Oh, yeah, I just finished watching that one. Yeah, yeah, that was a nightmare one. Alright, I've just got to go get my bags that I can tag and put this aside so I don't forget. Okay. Greg, at least with the screws, because I'll be transplanting a board into here. Hopefully, I won't have to worry about those so much. I've got a fair number of iPhone 6 spares here that I can always refer back to. So, yeah, just a couple. Radio. Who is this person? It looks kind of messed up a bit. And maybe after I've finished messing around for my test boards, I'll have enough skill to work on this one. Okay. Fortunately, I can put that aside, at least now that it's in its box. Even though I will forget what it's for, later on when I come back to it, I'll go, I know what you're for. Ah, god damn. Now there's skewered parts that don't need skewering. Dear God, I'm an idiot. It's just that natural tendency to close your legs when something falls down there. It's a dangerous tendency when it comes to dropping skewers and things. Oh, for goodness sake, come on now. God damn, I'm butchering this. What's going on here? I should just keep one of these here. Okay, there we go. It's pretty impressively mangled, this one. Look at that. That's I think I just got the data off this one and then just walked away. It's not the worst, but it's not far off either. Fair enough. Looks like I've already taken quite a bit out of this one. I was originally tonight thinking of doing a live stream of trying to design that battery charge, discharge analysis tracking type program that I was talking to about with Chris Long last night. But it got a bit late and it's hard enough programming on it as it is. I don't really need to demonstrate just how colossally bad it will be at this sort of hour. So I need to even come out. Very good. Hey Joshua. Let's see. How do they refurbish an iPhone screen? There's quite a few videos on the internet about that, but essentially, at least for the for anything like 6 and earlier, I think they just do the usual hot plate and wire split. Now I can't remember the person who comes in here, and there's a person that comes in here for chat fairly regularly, and they do it every day. So they'll be the better person to talk to or ask. And as far as I understand, they're also doing the iPhone 7s now, which is quite impressive. The guy wanted to have a curved screen on his... Oh, you mean the smashed one, yeah. User installed feature. Now what's going on here? Sometimes I'm not sure. It's just this board is not sitting in properly, but it's because of the extreme curvature from this one. It's distorted the circuit board. So I'll have to be a little bit gentle when I put it back in. Last thing I need is to tighten everything down too much and pop the balls or something. I don't know. Pianov, have you heard anything from anyone about the board view pads PCB file format yet? Because I haven't. It's all just gone quiet. And I'm just finding it really hard to even find time to get into that, particularly that binary format, that pads PCB binary format. I mean, you can see the data there. It's in the clear, so to speak. Obviously in just binary format. So there's nothing exotic. I just wish they'd use a more common database format. Hell, even a Microsoft Access or Foxbase or whatever you want to call. That would have been better than what they've used. Because at least we can decode that. SQLite 3 would have been the nicest. Oh well. Can't have everything. Ready to go? Alright. Let's see. Alright. I've just got to go get a bite to eat. I'm sorry. So I'll be back in 5 minutes. So if you, yeah, you can watch a chair for 5 minutes and I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Wasn't quite expecting an interruption this soon, though I should have anticipated it. Change of plans. All my cats have taken up all my chairs outside of this office, so I've got nowhere to eat. So I have to eat at my workbench, which is not something I normally like to do. Fortunately, I've washed my hands and there's no soldering around the place. At least I hope. Yes, Greg, I've got plenty of practice boards. What's happening after August? I mean, if you're not like at college or something. But yeah, it's a bit sad to see that no one's able to really get into it much. No, I don't blame them. The files are massive. Ah, I absolutely detest it when food falls from my mouth. I must say, the other month, Lewis was treating himself to some sort of food. I'm not exactly sure what it was. I just remember it being in sort of a large container with aluminium foil or something over it. And whatever it was looked deep roasted. And he said he doesn't get it very often. He says more of a treat. But whatever it was, he made it look extremely delicious. And I'm dropping lettuce everywhere. Miles, hello. I was just talking about you actually. I don't know if you can see it in chat, but Jabara was asking about how we do iPhone screen repairs, like actual refurbishing of them. And I mentioned that you do it on a regular basis. But I can't remember what it was that Lewis was eating. I think it was enchiladas or something like that. But he really did make them look good. And I wanted some. This is not bacon. It's turkey bacon, basically. So, Miles, are there significant differences between, say, the uh, simple touch screens at 6 and earlier versus the 3D touch? Empanadas. Thank you very much, Lynn. Thank you. Hey, Mike. Yeah, if you call 2 o'clock in the morning food, dinner break, sure thing. I don't think I'll be having a coffee after this, though. So, what exactly are empanadas? I suppose I should just Google that rather than forcing everybody to have to compensate for my lack of Googling. Yeah, I think this is sitting in well enough for me to abuse. The only downside is I've got a million screws here that. Ah, come on, Paul, put them back in. No, man, put them back in. Okay, Miles says on the 6S onwards, not really. The only major difference is the metal back, yes, which I've noticed. They both refurbished the same way. Oh, okay. Well, that's nice to know. Thank you. I try to cut my coffee consumption off by 8 p.m. so I do not stare at the ceiling. Yeah, I agree, Greg. I do try. I usually try to cut off by around about 6 p.m. Same sort of reasons, but the nights get long and interesting, and subsequently I tend to not cut off until about 10 o'clock at night. And then the worst thing in the world happens, and I end up making very boring live streams on YouTube just to deal with the fact that I think of things to do at this late hour of night. Oh, for goodness sake. Come on. Yeah. Oh, that was weird. I thought someone knocked on my door. But it wasn't. It was just my brain. I hate FedEx so much. Miles, I think you can pretty much just extend that to I hate couriers. I mean, really. Couriers are just something they hold so much power to your business. They don't even realise it, I think. Or maybe they do. Something Lewis enjoys, but no meat for Lewis, yeah. But like I said, yeah, that really does make them look tasty. Deep fried meat or vegetable balls, similar to Asian steam ones, but more expensive. Okay, no. Yeah, Greg, that's right. The lack of interruptions and things like that is the primary reason that I tend to stay up late. Likewise for my wife. So also after about midnight we have the kids locked back into the house, and when I say kids I mean fur kids, because I have no intent on replicating genetically. So for me it's fur kids. And so she goes off and does her writing, and I find stuff to do on the computers and whatnot. But during the day it's very chaotic, not a lot of time to do anything that requires any level of prolonged thinking. Hey Motor Man, welcome. Nothing interesting tonight, Motor Man, just pottering along with... Okay, I need to strike this out because it's no longer applicable. It's not this person anymore. And I'll also have to update the database with the IMIs. Otherwise I'm going to get confused if I ever look at this one and go, the IMI doesn't match up to what's on this board anymore. That's okay. Alright, let's see if this even works. Like, I get my best work done at 5 AM till 9 AM and then 7 PM to 9 PM during business hours. This is on the phone or dealing with customers. Mike, you sound like a responsible adult. I'm not sure if you belong on this chat. I mean, that would be the ideal thing to do. Wake up at 5, get some work done till 9. Yeah. I know I should do it, but knowing you should do it and doing it, well, that's kind of pretty much half the human battle, isn't it? 6p, no thanks. 5s, no thanks. Oh, come on, where's my 6? Where are you, 6? Oh, there you are. I've already had the wires off this thing falling off. I've had to solder back a few of them. Superb engineering quality. Workmanship, I should rather say. Okay, 4.2 volts, we're drawing 12 milliamp. That's probably actually just the brick. Do we have a power up? Why don't I have a power up? Is this on? It's on. What have I missed? But don't tell me this board can't actually... That'd really suck. I have a dreadful feeling that the fault on this board is that it will not power up using the lock switch. Let's have a look. If I plug this in and it goes, then... Yep, okay. Overwork, underpaid, one-man show. It's pretty much the same here, Mike. Yeah, maybe we should start a support group. ITM2, my work hours start from 6 PM till late. Okay, why the late start? And what's late? STS says something about running them from the power supply isn't good. Don't really understand. Okay, Philip, what the problem there is, for STS at that particular time, originally, is you can get two types of these... get out of here. I don't know if it's going to show up. No, it's not. Anyway, you get two types of these wire looms. Now, the original cheaper ones, they only had the positive and the negative power going to the connector. And then what was going wrong is that if you didn't have the gas gauge line, which is this white one here, then the phone would start to, or if you had a faulty battery, which is the more common cause, uh, what will happen is that faulty data or absent data would cause the phone to start looping. And every time it does that, it increases the size of a particular log file in the phone. And eventually what will happen is that you run out of space, because iOS obviously does not understand the concept of running out of space and purging log files. And once that happens, you will go into DFU mode, and there's no way out of it other than to reformat the phone. You will get an error 26, or I think 27, or is it 25 and then 26? Anyway, you'll get an error in that sort of range, and there's just no way we know of at the moment to be able to get the phone out of the DFU mode and retain the user's data still. The most ideal option would be if you could somehow get into a terminal mode on the phone and then go in and say delete or truncate something, anything to free up some space, and then you can boot back in. So when it comes back to talking about these, basically what it's referring to is that without that gas gauge line, after about 20 minutes or so, a lot of these phones will reboot, even though you've got perfectly good power to them. It's just something that they do. I found that myself the other day when I was working on I think it was a 3GS. That also had the problem. Was it a 4? Maybe it was a 4. Oh, it was a 4. So yeah, every time you have this reboot going on, it's causing problems with the log files, and it takes a long time, but it eventually does happen, and you don't know how long it might have been going on from before that, so you don't know just how much space you've got left. So during the day, hate those phone calls. Has my thing been fixed yet? Oh yeah. I also get the messages. I had one today. Funnily enough, it's an error 27, 26 problem most likely, and the person's all like, yeah, is it fixed? And I said no. I said, yeah, it's stuffed. There's nothing I can do about this unless you want me to format it. I'm like, can I come and get it then? I was like, yeah. And then I said, but there's not going to be anything on it. It's like, oh, can you fix that? Like, no. And then 5 minutes later, is it fixed yet? And I'm like, oh my goodness, what have I done? Alright, this is weird. Maybe one of the more knowledgeable participants here can tell me what would cause the iPhone to not respond to the lock button. And take note that this is actually a separate chassis now that I've installed. I took it out of the old bent up one because it didn't do the pickup of the lock button. Hey Kraj, I blame my wife for missing the beginning of the stream. She was destroying the Amazon rainforest last night. Oh my god. Kraj, what'd you do? Spraying cans or something? So. Oh, Mike, thank you. Yes. Yeah, I ran around and looked around. They seem to be the same ones as what Jessa also sells. You know, they've got these proper wire ferrules. I don't know if that's how you properly pronounce them, but just to make them look fancy. But yeah, as long as I've got that gas gauge line on them, you should be good. One way to test is to get a phone you don't mind if it dies or something like that. Plug it in for 20 minutes and see what happens. Well, this is going to be a bit of a pain. I'm going to have to change my strategy here slightly. What I will do in this instance is, pardon me, I'll plug a battery in there, which immediately you're going to say, well, that doesn't change anything, which is true. But then I will plug this device in, which is one of my charger units, and one thing I added onto it, which a lot of the other USB ones do not have, is the ability to reset the connection. So like, no, that's the current limit. Oh well, I'll just set that back up to that should do. If I press and hold this button here, it will cause the power to the iPhone to cut off, and then when I release it, it goes back. So obviously what will happen is if this cable is connected and it loses power for a couple of seconds, it causes the phone to then wake up. And so it's a cheat's way of getting around not having an operating lock button. She was snoring something awful. How's that destroying the the rainforest? Was she destroying it through sound? Oops, bugger. I nearly killed that one. Alright, so I'm just going to go get a battery for this. It won't be too long. I realised right behind me I had a stack of 5 iPhone 6 batteries, of which at least 4 will be dead. That's dead, that's gone all ripply. If you ever have had to deal with iPhone batteries and you're not sure whether they're going to be dead or not, this is one particular failure thing that I've noticed. Is I don't know if it's going to show up in the camera or not, but you see how it's got a very sort of subtle, ripply, gravelly look underneath the skin. So it's not smooth. So, but it hasn't started to delaminate or puff up. But it's got that rough underside look. That basically means it's dying. Whereas you compare it to, say, this one. When the focus go. God damn you, focus, come on. This one's smooth, and so that's not a big problem there. I wonder what this one's dying from though. This one's got holes in it. Yeah, that's where it's good. This one says dud, and that's a 6S, so that's even less use. What's this? This one is potentially water damaged phone. Let's have a look. No, that's right, the water damage didn't get into that area. And what about this one? Yep, we're going to try this one here. Like I said, we're only testing screens, so if it does do the error 27 thing, no biggie, I'll just reformat this phone. Oh, for goodness sake, come on. I mean, it's always good when you get a battery, like if someone's complaining about battery issues, it's always good if you can get one that just is puffed up. And then you go, yeah, that's well and truly dead. Don't tell me, is this a 6S? No, this is a 6. No, it's not, that's a 6S. I just remembered that. Idiot. Plug into here. Might have to actually go use a new one. Oh no, there we go, we've got some life. Must be reasonably charged too, because I'm only drawing, what have I got here? 530, 560 milliamp. So hopefully it'll boot. Yeah, focus, you fack. Hey Mako, enjoy your dinner. I just had my 2 o'clock dinner. And we are alive. Excellent. So now, where's my tool? Yeah. Hey Marway. For testing these screens, before I can send them off for refurbishing or anything, just testing, I have one of these touch pens. Now it's not really necessary for this particular sort of screen, but when you get smash screens, this saves your fingertip. And it'd be nice if it worked. Why isn't that one working? Well, that sucks. Miles, maybe you can tell me what controls the sensitivity of the touch on an iPhone screen? Because I know I get a number of refurbs and you've got to press really hard to have them work. This one seems perfectly fine. Interesting, it doesn't want to go to the middle. That's fine. Oh, maker, you have to cook it yourself. Oh, well. Good luck to you, sir. Well, it's interesting that that lock button doesn't work, so someone's going to have to tell me what causes that. Need sweaty hands. Yeah. I don't know why this didn't work, because I've been using it on the 5s, the 4s, and I'm fairly sure I've used it on 6s before, so I'm not sure. Maybe I need to lick it. No, I didn't really lick it. Oh, come on. Get off. Get off. Oh, I'm an idiot. There we go. Well, it seems this is actually a new screen. It's still got all the markings and everything. It hasn't been installed, which means there must have been an issue. I think this one was a flickering issue. Yes, it was. And like an idiot, I seem to have taken the front plastic off. Why would I do that? Alright. Okay, Miles responds to my question, says probably depending on the polarizer used. OCA used, glass used, if it has a static paste applied. Alright, fair enough then. Yes. In other words, luck of the draw. Funnily enough, I get some people who like the ones that are harder to use, because they're like, oh good, it's not so sensitive anymore, just what I want. And then of course you get the normal people that sort of go, it's not as graceful, as sensitive as it was responsive. And at that point, of course, I've got to replace their phone, the screen. I tell myself that I should pre-test my screens that I get from the supplier. But realistically, who's got the time to do that? I mean, I suppose I do have the time, but this is just isopropylene. Just trying to get the worst of that scum off and see whether I've got any significant pits or anything on it. Flickering tends to go away after about an hour or so. So what's the cause of the flickering on these sort of screens, Miles? Any idea? Because I know on the old 4s, 4S's, there was a couple of caps hanging off the screen connector on the logic board side, and as they sort of got a bit older, they would tend to start playing up, and you replace them and it came good again. But I'm not sure what it's like on... God damn it, I've got pits on this. I'll go get my precious 3M cloth and see if that will take them off. Back. Let's have a look at chat. Let's see. Yeah, I agree, Lynn. The capacitive issue with the fingers and all that. But you definitely do get situations where a screen is notably less responsive. And a lot of the time I sit there and hope, oh please God, let it just be the fact that I'm wearing a glove or it's an extra thick plastic protector on it or something like that. Sadly, most of the time it's not. What have we got? No, I've got a couple of, I don't know if they're going to show up on this. Yeah, you can see a couple of the blemishes there on that screen. So I'm going to have to go refurbish that one. Unfortunately, I can't give that to a customer because I can guarantee you they will notice that and they'll go, "Oi, my screen's no good, mate. You sold me a dodgy. I'm going to bust you up." Alright, so refurb that one. Mike Maker says, "Do you sometimes stream in the mornings, afternoons, or is family life prevalent then?" Most of the time, would you believe, it's because the cats are out and about. I know it sounds very strange, but when they are not locked into the house, mind you, I do have a large house here, it is quite big. When they are roaming out and about in the yard, I cannot really commit myself to a stream. It's just too nerve-wracking for me. And the reason being is, in the past I have unfortunately lost one cat to the road, which is why I now have a very extensive enclosure system here. And then a few years later I did lose one to the road, yes. And a few years later we nearly lost a second one as they went roaming a little bit too far and got themselves trapped in a water tank for a day and a half. Fortunately, at that point the tank was empty, but it was just pure luck that we found them. And I just kept looking everywhere. It was in the neighbour's property. The tank itself was illegal, but that's irrelevant. By illegal I mean it had no top on it. It was just like an open bucket elevated by about 5 meters off the ground. Actually, not really 5 meters, more like 3 meters. So ever since then I've been paranoid, plus the fact that we do have snakes all around. And thank you very much, phone. No, you're also another one. That's interesting, the sixes don't like this. So yeah, unfortunately I'm very paranoid. I have spoken in the past about the fact that I have anxiety issues, as do most people in our industry it seems. And so if any little thing happens, I'd be devastated to lose any of the fur kids. It's no idea, I've been chatting so long I've actually lost the chat off the window here. Rave T. So, did you ever try your hand at refurbishing your own screens? I put a few $100s on equipment a few years ago and found the main issue was not having a cold glue machine. I haven't tried myself. I looked at the tutorials for it. I see they wanted to do it properly. You really needed a vacuum autoclave, and I saw what the cost of those things was, and I just sort of went, nah, I'll just pass the cost on to the customer. So I agree time would be wisely invested to pre-test the screens. It would be good. I think it's more a case of maybe I need to be a more responsible adult business person and take the initiative to do that sort of thing. So Miles says, I have no idea what causes flickering. I'm guessing something in the backlight circuit. Some screens will flicker on some phones, but not others. Yeah, I have noticed that too. Which could be exactly what's happening on that one that I just claimed for refurb. Yeah, a tolerance issue, I guess you could say. So, as a kid, we always had cats. Lost two to the road. Yeah, but it was still a great time. Living in flats are not good for cats. Yeah, I agree. Mike, we lost a few cats to hawks, and now we only have a dog. Oh my god, that's pretty crazy. Big hawks. I mean, we get large birds here, birds of prey. We get the Australian wedge-tail eagle. And that chap, I think he's up to 2.5 meter wingspan on them, or something like that. And they will regularly take away small animals, but yeah, I'm trying not to think about that too much. Starting to think the anxiety issues are from solder and flux fumes. Yeah, well, not in my case, I know that much. Snakes, why did it have to be snakes? In California, the rattlers are waking up at this time of the year. Yes, Lynn, fortunately, and owls are starting to go to sleep. Well, obviously not rattlers, but the snakes that we do have around here. This is weird that it doesn't work on that. Let me just try something with a little bit of water in it. Okay. It's an alcohol water mix that I have there, so... No, that doesn't work. Wow. I don't know why. Maybe... Yeah. Anyway, I just realised I really need to set the auto off on this to infinity. General... Auto lock... It is set to never. Oh well. Question: can you safely pull the screen off and put a new one on while it's still powered on? And I'm going to say no, because you'll destroy the backlight circuit. Did you not forget to put the resistors in another box when that snapped its clamp off? I've already done that. I moved them. Thank you for reminding me though. But I have done it. Well, with me, I know I've had anxiety issues pretty much all my life. The only trouble is I didn't realise that is what I was suffering until more recently. Certainly when I was going through university, it was... I went through a period there where I was chucking up every damn morning, and it was just anxiety, all weird sort of things, and it just comes down to anxiety, and the way it manifests is half the fun. As soon as you get used to one manifestation of it, it decides, oh, you're used to that, and it goes and modifies itself into something new. Let's see, what do I need? I need some stickers. Be right back. Okay. Oh, okay, Ray. Alright, that makes sense because at least the backlight circuit isn't driving. I mean, there is still the minor risk of a short if you, offset the connector slightly. For now, since this is my only tester that partially works, I will continue to just turn it off. It's another 2 minutes of my life wasted, but oh well. I've only found I've felt physical anxiety since I started doing a lot of solder work. I don't feel mentally anxious, just tight chest and breathing issues. Had a couple of major attacks too. Yeah, like I said, it's the whole manifestation thing, the way it changes and things like that. Um, yeah, it's a slippery, tricky beast. And for the most part, it's something you live with for the rest of your life. But yeah, if you can work out how to manage it, then that's excellent. I think that's the hard thing. Realizing you've got it, got that issue, and then managing it. And if you're really lucky, you can do it without needing chemical assistance in terms of things like Zoloft or diazepam or Xanax or whatever they use. Okay, refurb. I'm not even going to bother taking this rear panel off. I've got so many of these. At one point, my supplier was offering the pre-built modules for about $2 more than the non-pre-built ones, and so I was like, oh hell, I'll just buy the pre-built ones. And so as a consequence, I've got a zillion of these with back plates already attached. I don't need that. What am I doing that for though? There we go. There you going to respond to this? Alright, that is crazy. What have I done to this? It used to work. I'll have to try with a... I'll have to try with a 5 in a little bit and see if that is it. Come on, there you go. So Miles, do you pretty much just do this sort of just test back and forth, and is that... Oh, it's a... I thought I had a defect band running down there. Or do I? I think I actually do. No, I don't. No, I don't. It's just a bloody picture. It's a crack up. It's a power pole, but the shadow runs across the horse. Check this out. Okay. Yeah, you can see that band there, and that looked like a pretty classic sort of screen failure band. Of course, naturally it would normally go across this photos icon, but then the shadow runs across the horse, and it makes it look like it's a legitimate fault, but it's not. It's just a shadow. So it caught me out for a second there. CryJ, physical manifestation of psychological issues is the body's alarm system, and it will not be ignored. Yeah, psychosomatic illnesses are quite interesting. They really are, and they're very quick to take effect. That is one of the things that once you go through this sort of phase of going through the breakdowns and having some pretty severe attacks and things like that, is you really start to look at yourself as a bit of a science experiment, and you start trying to pick yourself apart. Okay, well this screen looks like it behaves as well, which makes me wonder why it's here. So all I can imagine is, again, I haven't even got a... Let's wash this and... Oops. Wash it and see if it comes up with anything. I think it's my body telling me to stop reading. Rave, that could be part of it too, yeah. But certainly breathing issues are fairly It's a fairly common sort of manifestation. I mean, a lot of the self-help management systems that they get you to go through tend to focus on managing your breathing. The only trouble I found with trying to manage your breathing is after you've done it for about 15 minutes of being consciously making yourself breathe a certain way and you stop, your brain starts going berserk because it's like, you're not breathing, you're not telling yourself to breathe, you're going to die. So you then spend the next 5 minutes trying to reassure yourself that you can breathe without thinking about it. Well, this one looks pretty damn perfect, so I don't know what the deal is here. And behaves. I hope it's not like a post glitch type thing where you have it installed for a couple of days and then it starts glitching, ghost touching and stuff like that. Yeah, make sure you have no drop touches when doing that. Massive adrenaline dumps in my undoing. Yeah, that's brutal when that happens. Trying to get through one of those attacks takes quite a lot, and usually afterwards you're ruined for a day or two. Absolutely ruined. I usually find when that used to happen I'd have to sleep for 12 hours or something like that. Yeah. I'm going to mark this one as seems good. Try out, or at least, yeah. Seems okay. 2017, 06, 04 today. Yes, I'm in the future, I know. CryJ, yeah, if you get that sort of thing where your work makes you ill, definitely time to walk away from it. Okay, I need another part. That can be my good part. Okay, and this one has a protector on it. Looks like it came from a waterlogged phone, so I'm going to know straight away that that's not even a refurb unit. I'll just see if it's alive. Oh man, I left the battery connected. Unbelievable. Check to see if it's alive. If it's not good enough quality, then I'll just bin it. There's no point leaving a waterlogged screen in the pile. But since this is an original screen, it might be worth keeping, even if it has a bit of that water wash effect, just for testing. I would rather not quit being self-employed. That's true. I went through a bit of a phase back when I was doing the manufacturing of the electronics, where I became hyper paranoid about the lead issue, and I bought myself all sorts of gear to suit up and breathing apparatus and all that. And then that was a bit of a, might have been a bit of junk. It doesn't help that it's got a protector on it. So in the end I had to just walk out of that shed for a couple of months before I can go back in and do any more work. Yeah, that screen seems fine, and it's the quality is good too. So I'll keep this one as a tester. I suppose I could get it refurbished actually. It's just that you don't often get a decent working original Apple complete unit. I thought the screen testing was just a thought. It could well have been. I can't remember now. Let's see, what is it? Boring late night business clean up with testing iPhone screens for refurb. Yep, and I've been going on for an hour already. Good goodness. But I just have to get these things done. Yeah. Because that RMA that I sent in the other day, that was a bit over 700 Australian dollars worth of stuff. And if I'd waited another month or two, I would have lost everything. I was very fortunate, as it turned out. The supplier knew that the products were over the 12-month limit, but they still accepted it in this case. So I was very grateful for that. You could sell ugly screens for replacement discount. I have considered that. I haven't tried it, but I have considered it. Particularly, there are a lot of people around here in this town that are, just a bit short on cash, and I mean, we all go through that occasionally, unless we're born filthy rich, or hit the lotto, or actually good business people. I don't know. So yeah, I've considered it, but I do tend to worry about the situation. If something goes wrong, then I really end up losing a lot of money on that. Because then they'll go, well, I want a better one. It's like, but you only paid for just a slightly defective one. It's why I won't buy the cheap replacement screens. Like, my supplier has about 4 different grades, starting, say like the iPhone 6, I can get them down to about $39, and then there's a $45, and there's only 3 grades of these ones, and then a $56 one, and I'll always get the $56 refurb ones, because I figure with the cheaper ones, half the time you end up having to replace them again with another cheap one, which may also fail a couple of weeks later again. So I don't know. I would like to try again the aftermarket screens, but I just don't know what the quality status and the consistency. It's just too unpredictable. Plenty of times I've gotten a few good aftermarket ones, and I thought, hey, we're on a good thing here, only to find that the quality just goes to the crap house a couple of weeks later with the next batch. Came here for a chat, and the repairs are a bonus. Yeah, we're not doing much in the way of repairs, are we? But just filter through this stuff. Okay, keepers tester. Which reminds me, I have got my best original iPhone 6 white screen out there with a customer who didn't come back to get it replaced back with a purchased one. So I'm going to have to chase them up at some point, but I have a horrible feeling they've already smashed it, and that's why they haven't come back to me. That's the other problem. If you engage in a situation where a person has a liability because the fact was this tests fine until close up of the phone and then blacks out. Oh, I hate these ones. And it doesn't even make a lot of sense with the iPhone 6. You can get original from China, use Jack Telecom, 110 each. Oh, right, actual original Apple ones. Let's see. Some 20 years ago, I had a long time of complaints, heart condition. Okay. It's not too bad, medication, and I can drive with it. Okay, that's useful. Yeah. Well, Jabara, you'd be hearing a lot of that now, wouldn't you? Me with my good luck with the laptop screens. I think the problem I have with this particular screen is that this is probably 18 months since I originally ordered it, and my personal sense of ethics told me I cannot send that back for a warranty. That is my own fault, and I need to be punished for being that lazy. So yeah, so I should technically throw this in the bin, but then my hoarding sense says don't throw it in the bin, you never know when you might need it. Yeah, gotta love that. So we'll put that in a third column. What else we got? We've run out of 6s already. I think we've... what have we got? What's in here? Maybe a wrecked cable. Yeah, like I said, it just... oh, this has got a... oh right, this has got a crack through it. Cool. On things like the iPhone 4s, 4Ss, things like that, I sort of anticipate that if they've got issues in the flex input contacts, then when you put them in, they can get the tension pulls a bit more. But on the iPhone 6 and such, the way the fold down occurs, it just seems a little unusual that it would do that. I'm calling it a bastard. Well, I try not to use excessive swearing words, but yeah, I do get caught out. So this one's just a crack. Let's see. Miles, if you're around, I know with the older screens, when they have been refurbished too many times, they get that pinkish hue developing from the center outwards. I'm assuming there's nothing you can actually do about that. I suspect it's a case of, well, that's it, that's just the end of its life, and you SAB. Yes. At least most of these 6s do not have excessive crumbling of the glass or anything. I think that's just the behavior of that slide down window that made it jump like that. Okay, that one seems fine too. It's just cracked, so it's definitely a refurb. Rave, expensive I know, but having cheap $50 come, yeah, but I hate having cheap, yeah, I agree. Yes, CryJ, how far away are you from streaming, and what will you deliver to us? You have to deliver stuff to your repair family. There's a lot of tension in my family. Father was an electrician. Did he do your own housework? Electrics? Damn it, this is a previously refurbished one. That sucks. I get less money obviously for the non-Apple ones. Oh well, that's okay. We will live with that. Time to cook dinner? Okay, I'll see you later, Mako. Comedic insights, alright. I'll go with that. Why not? Have a bit of a laugh. Okay, so far tonight we've only got 3 refurbs on that pile. How abysmal. Yeah, shocking to keep putting current. Oh dear, you might get some resistance there, Rafe. These are the fun ones. Every now and then I get a little bit rich, so to speak, and I will order, say, a box of 10 screens or things like that. And usually when I do that, I find I have a run of duds. And so I've got 2 screens here, and I know they're interesting. They're refurbs. I can tell because it actually says it's overblown on the highlight here, but damn you. Anyway, it says grade R, which from this supplier means it's a refurbish. And I haven't peeled these off and I haven't installed them at all. And the reason why they've got test on them is because I think I had a bad run and I ended up just buying a whole new batch, and that I'll get to these ones later when I've got time, which of course we all know is a load of crap, which is how you end up doing streams at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey Nate, I'm cooking breakfast. How awesome that we can be together anytime, anywhere in the world. I agree. I love the internet. Very much so. Hello? What's going on here? Did I not put the battery in? I didn't plug the battery in. No. That was very smart of me. There we go. I suppose now that question tends to lead me to asking, when did everybody get started with their connectivity to the world? For me it was would have been early 1980s. I'm trying to think now. 15 would have been 88 for me, the main one, because at that point I was working at the local electronics store, which was just a sales job, and much to my dismay, and I bought myself a nice 1200 modem. It was an internal Banksia brand. Anyway, and then I got onto the bulletin boards, FidoNet, things like that. That was a fair while ago now. I suppose maybe 30 years. Good God. Yeah. 30? Yeah, 30. But to be fair, the internet itself I didn't get involved with until I was at university, which of course was 1991 or so. Hey Bobby, nice to see you here. No, you haven't missed everything. Nothing's really been happening. I'm just sitting here testing screens to see whether I can use them, refurbish them, or bin them. So these ones seem quite okay. The other problem can be with screens is, as Miles mentioned or alluded to, sometimes you just get phones that don't like a particular screen. You change the screen, it's all good, but the screen that didn't work works fine on another machine. So that one's fine. Let's see if I can see any defects on the screen. I can't see any defects there. No, that's good. Okay, I'm going to put that back into stock. Internet on an Amiga 500. Oh, yeah. Six Girls, have you seen Terrible Fire's Amiga Accelerator? Terrible Fire is on my subscribe list. He's in the UK. He's got an accelerator that uses the Motorola 68030 and seems to do a pretty good job with that. Of course, that's assuming you still like Amigas. Mind you, I found generally Amiga people, once they've had an Amiga, they always like an Amiga. I'm sure there are examples where that doesn't hold true. Arian Gaming, I have a question for you. Well, go ahead. Okay, here we go. A couple of lines down. I have on my iPhone, and labeling things like CE, etc. My friend doesn't have those CE labels. Is it fake or is it still real? Uh, the CE certification is a very broad one, but so I would anticipate it to be on all the phones. I'm not sure why it wouldn't be there. I am afraid to say I may not be the most appropriately qualified person to answer that. But it was my general understanding. Yeah, C is sort of something that, hell, I don't know if anyone even doesn't get that on their equipment. I'd sooner believe that the one with CE on it is the fake. Only because people who make fakes tend to go the extra mile to put those things on. Are you talking about on the back of the phone, by the way? Like if you... Yeah, so like this one here, it has it. Come on. Focus. Let me get my finger in the way and that should help. Yeah, we're almost there. There we go. We've got the CE there. Well, this is an original one. So that's the sort of markings you should be seeing. Australia 77 BBS's early 80s 300 BPS modem. Yeah, that was always fun. Was that an acoustic coupled one? Bobby Gordon, my first computer had a 100 megabyte hard drive, 30 megabyte RAM, DOS 5, 5.5 inch drive, 3.25, $3,500. Yeah, that sounds about right to me. When I bought the PC, there was no internet. Yep. My first big PC was a 8088, 4.7 and 10 megahertz with the turbo boost, 640k RAM, and a Hercules graphics card. And I used to play Test Drive on that, and I remember when we could emulate CGA graphics on it, even though it was all green screen. Play things like Double Dragon rather than spending 20 cents down at the arcade every day. Alright. I mean, it's nice to think back to those old days, but realistically, I'm so glad they're over. CryJ 2081, we had a connection to ARPANET, yeah, Telnet at my junior high school. Okay. Is EEV blog a YouTube channel or internet? It's a YouTube, yeah, everyone else has answered. Look for Dave Jones, EEV blog, one word. I had to finance my PC. Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of us did, didn't we? I was lucky. My parents sacrificed a lot and got me that machine. Fortunately, my sister at the time was working at a computer business store back then when you could only get computers from stores that knew what they were doing. And now, recall it being about 1,700 Australian dollars. It was meant to go for 2,500, but it was a second-hand one, a demo or something like that. And so that was a good deal. That got me through. I ended up upgrading it to a little, there was a little 286 daughter card I could plug into it. And then the Math Co Pro. Fun days. Well, I'm glad they were over. I'll take my high definition graphics, high speed internet, all the stuff we have now, and I look forward to even more. Alright, what have we got here? We have my iPhone 5S, which, interesting enough, is bent to all hell, because that's how I do it. Okay, I know his YouTube channel but can't find his vid. Yeah, okay. No acoustic coupler, had an RJ12 connector. Oh, fancy. Somebody's fancy. Yeah. Holy dooly, I just noticed this board has a... I don't know what happened to it. You gonna show up? Come on, little buddy, show up. There you go, you can see it there. There's a nice notch taken out of that camera. For God's sake, autofocus. Are you programmed by Microsoft? Yeah. Your download will complete in 1 second. 3 minutes later, your download is almost completed. Really. I like my tiling window. Well, it's not actually a tiling window manager. It's not like I can't remember the name of the one. I mean, I can overlap and everything like that, and stack and all the other things. It just doesn't have bling bling in it, and I like it without bling bling. All right. What are you? You're 5Cs. Alright, we're on to the iPhone 5S stack now. I also have a large number of 5Cs. Well, it looks like this is someone's actual original. Yeah, this is an original. I wonder if it works. Sifting through the Bible, yeah, computer shopper, ugly tile window. Yeah, well, you're not going to get me to change, that's for sure. I like it, and I'm not changing. And if I do change, it's probably going to be to something even uglier. I don't see the point of wasting the CPU cycles when I can use them for encoding instead. Right, battery for this. Battery. I have the perfect battery here. If you can hear dogs barking, yes, there are dogs barking. I have no idea what they're barking at, and quite frankly I don't give a damn anymore because they're just annoying. Alright, this has got crush damage or something. It could be water damage. There we go. You can see up the... Great, blanks out. Come on. Oh, that upset the cycling. Anyway, there's highlights there. So that's... While it's an original, it's no use. It hurts me as a former Cinnamon Mint developer. Sorry, just can't do it. I've always liked my minimalistic window managers, and I mean I have tried an actual, proper desktop management system, but I always come back to wanting my minimalism. At least that's the nice thing, is you do get the option. It's not like you're forced into maybe two different things. Like, would you like minimalism Windows 98 style, or would you like whatever else we're going to shove down your throat? A program coordinate measuring machines using DOS. Win 3.1 was bee's knees. Easy backlight replacement. So, Rave, are you saying that the highlight spots that I'm seeing on this is just because of the backlight layer on this? It seems to me I can't even see any Yeah, sometimes you can sort of see where it's sort of pushed in or anything, but no, nothing showing up there. Are the dogs barking at kangaroos? No, they'll be barking at possums in this case. Possums or other dogs or humans along the street that they're barking at. There are a lot of people that walk up at strange hours of the night when they probably should be at home snuggled up asleep. And yeah, it sends the dogs nuts. And I don't blame them. We've had some unfortunate incidents of dogs being baited, dogs being stolen, all sorts of things. So yeah, it's not real nice. Oops. Okay, you can replace that. Alright then. Backlight is a couple of cents for a couple. Yeah, okay. Hmm. Well, I've got a backlight here, but I've got no image. Interesting. I'll try it directly rather than through this extension cable. So I might have a look at that, Rafe. What sort of disassembly process is required to do that? In this case, it's the 5S. Not that I'd consider doing it on a regular basis or anything, but more a case of interesting to know. Because I know on PC laptops or whatever, I have separated out the layers in the past. Why are you weird? Yeah, definitely getting backlight, but nothing else. It's a screen. Bin job. Get your hands off that pile. It's the wrong pile. What's this one? Home hole, too small. Oh, feck. Well, that's a refurb. Bash shell in Windows. Oh, goodness. Is that based on, are they using MingW for that or something like that to run it? I love that Microsoft used to bag the death out of the command line prompt, and then PowerShell comes along and they're all like, use the command line prompt. And quite frankly, I like using the command prompt on Windows, PowerShell or whatever. It saves a lot of pointing and clicking and stuff like that. Oh, for goodness sake, what's going on? I'm approaching pumpkin time, I think, where my brain just... There we go. We're good? We're good. Okay, what have we got here? This one might have been rejected. Something's very not right there. Something's very not right there. It's got a sort of fuzziness about this one, and looks like the screen is set back by about half a millimeter or so. Like if you look down, I don't know if this don't know if this is going to work. If you look down that far edge, the one closest to me, See how it looks like it's stepped in or stepped away from the front glass, almost like it's an old 3GS with a separate glass. Yeah, that's just weird. It's almost like there's about a half mil gap where there shouldn't be. Oh, Paul, thank you very much for that $2 donation. Appreciate that. The black piece peels off really easy to solder it, and you stick the new one on. Oh, so it's just the black piece. Oh, okay. Alright, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'll try that. Like I said, for this, for the sake of experimenting, if nothing else. I may possibly stream later. I'm not sure how long. I need to finish cleaning up my workspace in OBS. Oh, okay, so Ubuntu 16.04 shell runs natively in Windows. That's just weird. So it's Bash, fair enough. It's tripping me out just trying it out for the first time to see what limitations are. I've got a fair few scripts I can run in that to see how it goes. I think probably a lot of the problem could come down to you use so many supporting utilities when you write those shell scripts that while the script itself may run, getting all those supporting things. Paul, what are you doing? What's going on here? Thank you very much, but yeah, here I am sitting around wasting time trying to go through my business trash that I should have done on the day of the faults being found, and I look up and people are making significant contributions. I must say, the other night, it wasn't last night, the night before last, I found it profoundly difficult to sleep. I was, just really, yeah, uh, very difficult to find words for these sort of situations. Because, you come onto these streams, I produce the stream, I mean, I won't deny, in part of it, it's sort of like, I want to try and pick up some advertising revenue or Amazon affiliate link revenue. I think anyone doing this sort of thing does try to do that. It's just part of the show, and you do expect some donations here and there, but it's like you really get impressed, so to speak. I really cannot think of the most appropriate words right now, and I'm making a mockery of the whole situation. So I suppose at best I can just keep on doing what I'm doing. And looking at this screen now, I can see why it has that offset effect. If I compare it to another one, it's like it's probably not going to show up on this as usual. Come on. And of course everything goes backwards in my eye. But basically the LCD panel they've either put too much glue in there and not pressed it down, or it's sort of pulled away. But if it pulled away, I'd expect to see some sort of gas in there. But there's not. So it looks perfect, but it's definitely pulled away by about 0.5 millimeter. You and Chris Long are truly good people. Yes, I've got the 951 on my plan. Paul, well, it's very nice of you to say that. Truly good people. I think, like I said, I think we're just trying to do the best we can with everything that we've got. Along with, say, like Lewis Rossman, I think we like to put ourselves out there and say, look, it's not when you see these professional videos and things like that, it can be a little bit intimidating because it seems like these people are gods that know everything and never make mistakes. And I'm sort of, for a long time, was sitting here and thinking, I make a lot of mistakes with stuff. I have spent way too much money and time finding the dead ends of a road or dead ends of a maze. And there's a fair few videos I have put up from months ago, and I've received some moderate criticism on them, sort of things like you're an amateur, you don't know what you're doing, don't bother, etc. And you expect that, and that's sort of more the reason why I do this, so that people can sort of go, look, this is pretty much how it is for a lot of people doing this sort of work. That's a refurb. That works, but it's just offset from the frame for some reason. Rave says you should bring this Paul Dyer to chat with him on Hangouts or something. I'll step closer to the microscope. Yes. Taking off my shirt again. Those dogs are still going at it. Yeah, I don't know what other people's neighbourhoods are like, but this one seems exceptionally bad for dog barking. There's a lot of cats that are running around here, strays and things like that. We do what we can to rehome them. There's a new ginger one I've seen out there. It's only all of maybe 8 months old, and my cats were honing in on it through the fence. They're like, "What are you? Who are you? You're new around here." And I just hope to God that it's got a proper home or something like that. Yeah. Country towns, rural towns, can be a little bit rougher. Okay, we've got to stay over there. We've got pressure bruising happening on this one. So, let's see. You can see that sort of discoloration happening as I press down. There you go. Now sometimes I'll send these in. Yeah, it's staying pink. But most times I find that my supplier, the refurbishing people, they just reject them and say, no, we don't accept those ones. So I'll just throw it in the bin. So, apt-get is functional. So far I've installed AVR Dude, cool. An Arduino, expecting it to fail, which it didn't. Oh. I'm having deja vu now for some reason, so I'm expecting my wife to come in any second. I really am having deja vu. Every hour, make thousands of dollars. Paul, I'm going to assume you can't really tell us what you do. Or maybe from a practical business perspective, it would be unwise to do so on the grounds of the fact that other people try and corner your market or something. But I will say that I am nonetheless very appreciative of what you're doing. And yes, it will be going straight to more equipment for this channel. And hopefully we'll be able to add some more advances to this place. So yeah, this one looks, no, that's fecked at the bottom. It's been crushed in at a corner somewhere. Yeah, I can see there's a puncture mark in the bottom. Something got in there. Let's see, we'll have a look at this. There, you can just see it at the bottom there. See that little bit of a striping and crushing. That's no good. Broadcast engineer, I also own a few TV stations, cable ISPs, so companies that cap. My goodness, Paul. Well, it's quite impressive, and yet here you are on YouTube chat at 3 o'clock in the morning for me. So you obviously keep your feet fairly close to the ground. Repair family. If only Michael Oberdick was here to listen to that. Alright, that's the end of the 5S's. That's everything I had for the 5S. And I don't seem to have a 5C handy right now, and it is 3:30 in the morning. So unfortunately at this point it would be prudent of me to consider getting some sleep, given that I have to have a shower first and eat probably again. I think tonight would be ice cream before I go to bed. It was a poll. Someone saw something here. Alright. Okay. Oh, it's the poll. Right. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Crown J. See, brain's getting a bit slow. So I may be back again tomorrow night. Maybe with something more interesting. That's right. I was planning on broadcasting the design and development of the battery assembly test unit to connect into a PC. Yeah, it's not something that's going to make any real great amount of money, but I figure if it helps a few dozen technicians avoid dud batteries or things like that, yeah, it just makes people's lives easier, then I'm all for putting some time into that. I mean, after all, yeah, there's like Lewis does all his stuff. That's helped out a lot of people, including myself. And then Chlorodyte with the original version of Open Board View, and then so I stepped up on top of that. Pianov with his contributions as well. So yeah, I like to do things. If I can do something that helps me, and then if I don't have any commercial, how could you say, commercial interest in it, or it doesn't really have a commercial potential, then I'm more than happy to share it out with other people, because at the end of the day it's nice to have things helping you get your work done. Alright, my voice is starting to fade out, so that's definitely time for me to go. Thank you very much everyone for watching and sitting around and having a chat with me. Thank you very much, Paul, for your contribution again. I'm going to have a hard time sleeping, but I appreciate that, and I'll see you all next time.